What do you think,
There we
man?
go.
All right, we cool?
There we go. Boom. Yes, sir.
All right. Yo, what is up, bro? Oh my
What
goodness.
up?
It's actually an honor to meet you, dude. I watch so much of you guys' content, and it's amazing to actually like have a full interview with you, man.
You're too nice. You're too nice.
Oh no, man, I ain't being too nice. Trust me, man. Like I really take in you guys content, man. Oh,
There we go. All right,
okay,
I'm
we
good.
go.
Now I'm
All
set.
right.
All right.
Well, if y'all don't know who this is the illustrious comedian, Big Irish J Hollingsworth. Oh
Yes,
man, I
sir.
got this. Like I'm gonna keep on saying it. I thank you for coming on the show, man. Shoot, I'm really trying to do this in between breaks, so I might move a little faster than
Are you at
usual.
work?
Oh yeah, man.
What's your what do you do?
I'm a sales associate. Let's put
Okay.
it, you know.
Sell
Yeah.
me this
No, no,
pen.
it's legal. It's legal. It ain't no extra stuff. It's legal.
Ah,
Okay. Shoot, man. Well, we can't do the drink of the week segment, unfortunately, because I'm kind of at work right now, so can't do that. No drinking, especially no drinking on the job.
oh yeah.
So so we're gonna go into the second segment, which is called the guest spotlight, and it's all about you. I'm gonna ask you
Oh
five
shit.
questions about your career and just like how you see the industry.
Oh shit. All right, let's do it.
Okay. First question: what made you start comedy?
Excuse me. Great question, James. Starting off hot. Let me see. Why did I get in comedy? Growing up, I always thought about doing comedy. I was working for Yahoo as a
Okay.
I was a operations manager for the small business division. I started writing down
Okay.
ideas for jokes, but I never got the nerve to go up on stage. And then I moved to Boston. I asked a girl out on a date, and she was like, "I can't do it on Wednesdays because I have improv class." Or I was like, "Oh, where do you do that?" And she goes, "Oh, it's the Boston Center for Adult Education or some." Can I swear on this, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, some shit like that. So, anyways,
Yeah.
but I saw they had a stand up class, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna sign up for this class. So I did a stand up class, and then I did my first set August 28, 2008, and then I was immediately. It's interesting. God, I'm giving you a long answer. I hope you got enough
It's
time.
all good, man. Go ahead. Do you think?
I know a lot of people talk about they did an open mic or they did stand up for the first time, and they got a laugh and they got that rush and they were hooked. Well, I've always been able to
Yeah.
make people laugh, so that wasn't necessarily a thing for me. For me, it's always been the science of comedy.
Yeah.
Like you have an idea and it doesn't work, but you're like, I know this is funny. Why isn't this working? And so you keep chipping away at it, try it at different angles, and then it works. And it's been that from the very first time I went on stage. I got done and I was like, why didn't this work? Why did they laugh at this? I should have said
Yeah.
this here, et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of a long answer.
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. All right. Second question. You being around such comedy heavy hitters like Kev on stage, to hear more, those type of people, like how do you like does it make you feel like, okay, I have to step my game up or I have to be at this level, or is it just
uh,
like, hey man, I'm just these are my friends and we're just having a good time?
it's more of the these are my friends. I started comedy in Boston, and this is kind of, again, I guess I'm long winded. I'm realizing, to answer your question. It's like the old saying: you ask a person what time it is, and they tell you how to build a watch.
Right.
But I started comedy in Boston. And then when I went to Seattle, and I was in Seattle for about 5 years, about a year or two after I got there, I became the house MC at a comedy club. So, and it was
Oh,
at the
wow.
time it was the only A comedy club in the country. So every weekend I'm working with the top comics in the country. And I met Kev, when I was in Seattle. I was trying to get him time, but I mean, I worked
Yeah.
with, if you name one of the most popular comics, I probably worked with them at some point. So
Oh, wow.
I've always worked with heavy hitters, so to speak. With Kev and Tahir and Tony and all those guys, it's different because they are friends. Like, I'll
Yeah.
maybe work a weekend with let's say like Joe Rogan. I work a weekend with Joe Rogan, and it'll be a quick, interactions. Anything you want me to say, you want to bring you up, but I'm not like buddies with them. Whereas all those guys are friends, and it's just it's cool because I know Kev from when he started, and I remember the first time I ever saw Kev do stand up was it was Nate Jackson's room and him going up, and I was like, who is this guy? He's so fucking likable, and just to see how each comic's stand up has progressed, especially Kev's, it's amazing. It's great.
Oh man, that's what's up, man. Because like I feel like that's the most awesome thing. Like you get to work with your friends, and it's like that's mind blowing. You get to work with your friends, you get to do something that you love. So that I know that just feels amazing, man. All right, I ain't gonna butt in on your answer. I'm just gonna go to the next one. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Huh? You froze. You back? No.
Change it
around. We're back. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay. All right.
Go ahead. Sorry. Good.
All right. Third question. With Aska, where did the concept come from?
That's Kev's. That was all Kev. Kev was doing that in Washington with a buddy of his every once in a while, and then they just stopped doing it. I think when he moved to LA, and then I don't know if he brought it up. Yeah, he had to have brought it up, and then we started talking about it. And I have a pretty diverse group of people I know, and so that we started back doing it back up again, and it always cracks me up on the comments when people are like Jay has the craziest, or like friends with the craziest stories. I mean, a lot of the guests that we've had on there. I mean, we had a former meth head, former
I seen that one.
Yeah, and these are all friends of mine. 9/11 responder. A lot of these people are like good friends of mine, comics and stuff. So it's kind of nuts.
But that's cool, bro, because you got like such an illustrious group of friends. It's like it's not just high level people. It's people who've actually been through something. So I just feel like the whole concept of the show is amazing, and I love it. My family loves it because we actually sit down and just like binge watch. We like binge watch you guys' episodes.
Oh yeah, I love it. I mean, it's so interesting. The thing I appreciate about it, and that was one of the things Kev and I kind of talked about. I mean, again, I don't want to take any credit from Kev. He created it and all that. But like we consciously made an effort that anybody that we had on, they're a guest, and so it's never supposed to be like a gotcha thing or an aggressive thing. Yeah. It literally is learning this person's point of view, their what happened in their life, their walks of life, and just asking questions. Never to be like judgmental or anything like that.
And I just love that whole thing because you guys never seem like you're judging them. You just like asking honest questions that most people wouldn't say to them. So like I just believe it's just an awesome show all around, man.
I think I really like the Kev. Thank you. Yeah, I love it. I mean, because you learn so much. I mean, myself, I'm talking about. Like I learn as we're interviewing them, and it's so interesting,
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Shoot. All right. Fourth question. I want to ask this question. So I'm gonna come. When was the first? All right, I'm gonna ask it like this: Were you ever booed?
Don't be scared.
Were you ever booed? And if so, like, what was the worst one?
I think the worst bomb I ever had. I was featuring for Leslie Jones, Big Les, who Leslie stand up. She is a crusher. She's like she destroys Leslie Jones. Not even joking. So I was featuring for her. I had just done the Bay Area Black Comedy Competition with him. That's his bomb was at the Bay Area, and I was doing a joke that I had done in in Oakland at the Bay Area that did fine, and I was doing it again now in Bellevue, Washington, and for whatever reason they just they weren't feeling the joke. I hit the punchline, and the whole audience was like, "Oh!" And so I remember at the time, and I'm used to like Bellevue's like a very rich area of Washington State, like Gates and all that lives there. So I'm used to like the white audiences kind of tight and stiff, but usually both audiences they're like on board for they want to have a good time. They're on board and they're not stuffy. But so when the reaction from the audience was like, "Oh, I'm really tight," I looked around and looked at everybody and I just go, "I don't give a fuck." And then I finished my set. They did not like me at all. I got off, and Leslie in the back, Leslie goes, "Jay, what happened?" I was like, "I don't know, Les. I'm sorry." And she's like, Leslie goes, "No, fuck them." She goes, "That was a good joke." She's like, "Fuck them, Jay." And then Leslie went out, and her whole first 10 minutes was shitting on the audience for not liking my joke. She was like, "Oh, did Jay offend you, you sensitive motherfucker?" She was like, "Fuck you." And I'm in the back now while she's on stage, and she's looking at me going, "Jay, fuck all of them. That's a good joke. Keep doing that joke. Fuck them." And so for that, I will always love Leslie Jones and always speak how much I love her, you know?
Oh, wow. Yo, that's crazy. Yo, because that's like, you got a big up from Leslie Jones. And like, if y'all know Leslie Jones, like she's like big right now, bro. So it's like, that's crazy to actually understand that you got a big up from Leslie Jones and like to know like the people that you know, bro. Like, that's amazing, man.
She's the best, and she's the coolest. Like off stage, she's the coolest. It's funny because sometimes like there's like inside balls. Sometimes when you ask a comic about another comic and be like, comic John Smith, is he funny? And if people are like, "Oh man, he's a nice guy," then usually that means they're not funny. But
like, give him a nice guy.
Yeah, but I have to be specific. Like off stage, Leslie is the coolest person in the world. On stage, she destroys, like crushes. She's like one of the strongest comics you could ever try and follow.
Okay. Dang, man. That's awesome, man. Okay, last question for this segment. What has been your biggest accomplishment to date? I mean, career-wise.
Oh, wow. It's, I mean, I won some competitions. I mean, I was a finalist in the Bay Area Black Comedy Competition, which as a white guy, I actually take a lot of pride in that. I mean, when I went into it, I've done it a few times, and shout out to the Bay Area Comedy Competition. The people that run them, I run it. I love them. They're great people, and it's when I first did it, I honestly just went in because I was just like, I do a lot of black rooms. I was like, I had no thoughts of advancing or anything. I wanted to be a part of the festival. A lot of my friends were in it. So as I kept moving on, like I made it to the semifinals and then the finals. After I got out of the first round, I was kind of just like, this is all gravy. So when I got to the finals, I was like, this is I couldn't ask for more. I didn't go into it thinking like, I could try and win this. I didn't give a shit about that. That actually I appreciate that. I won this competition called March Comedy Madness. Which it was in LA, and there was over like 100 and something comics in it. And it was like set up like a March Madness bracket where you kept going against somebody and moving up to the final four. And I won the whole thing, which was, is nice. It's weird. It's like I've done other stuff. Like I have a lot of views online and stuff. And I appreciate all that. Everything is like stand-up is what I want to be known for. I guess like one of the biggest accomplishments for me is being able to say that I make a living strictly on stand-up. Like I'll get side jobs doing whatever, but the fact that when we're not in the pandemic, that I'm a touring stand-up comic and I'm able to make a living, pay my bills, and everything off of stand-up is probably the thing I'm most proud of. Because I remember starting in Boston. And you don't know anything when you get into stand up. well, I mean, a lot of people know kind of the insides of stand-up now, but when I was starting, you didn't know like stand-up other than the very top people. So I remember going to Nick's Comedy Stop in Boston, 2008, and there was some guy's name on the marquee. Didn't know who he was. I went in and watched him, and I remember talking to my buddy, and I was like, "Wait, you're telling me I can just tour around the world doing stand-up and I can make a living off that?" And I remember at the time I was like, if I can ever just get to that, I'll be the happiest I could be. And I think I forget that sometimes, you know, because as comics, most of us, we always want more, whatever you're at. You know, I got you want to always keep progressing. And I think I try and remind myself, think about that time when you were like, I just want to be able to pay my bills. And I'm at that. So that's something I actually take a lot of pride in.
Oh man, that's awesome, man. Dang, bro. Like, I'm not in the same like field, but like I'm somewhere close around there. I actually do. I'm on the music side.
Oh yeah.
So actually like seeing you guys do your thing and like really follow your dreams is like amazing. So like that's why when I take in your content, I take it like mentally, like, man, like this is how they're doing, this is how they're moving there, like to get to where they want to be. So like you guys, like you, Kev, like all you guys are just like a real big inspiration, like just speaking like for me, like, so I just thank you for coming on the show.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me, dude. And yeah, Kev, I mean, Kev's an inspiration. You know, he's one of my good buddies, but he's still an inspiration to me. I mean, like I think it was about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, but I told him, I was like, look, coming up, I always was like focused on stand-up. I was like, fuck social media. I don't care about that. I want to be respected for my stand-up. I want to be known as a good stand-up comic. I don't give a fuck about social media. And then I you know, about a year and a half ago or whatever, I was thinking about, I'm like, I could be the best stand-up in the world, but if nobody comes to see or nobody watches, then who gives a fuck? So I talked to Kev and I was like, you know, I want to learn from you. Be my Yoda. Teach me, you know, like, and he was saying, you know, you gotta post a video a day. You gotta be consistent and this and that. And then I bought his masterclass thing and you know, follow it. And it's interesting because, I mean, compared to all those guys, I'm on such a smaller scale for my followers, but like I just passed, I think I have like 7,500 followers now on Instagram, which again, compared to that, it's like a drop in the, you know, in the ocean. But it's interesting for me because I remember back when I had like 1,000 followers, and I remember I would post a video, and if it got 100 views, I'd be like, oh man, all right, that's good, you know. But just like Kev said, you know, being consistent and keep doing it, and I see it, you know, I see the needle moving, slow but sure. And so it's pretty cool.
Oh man, that's awesome. All right, we actually got a question from one of the people that's watching. They're asking, what was the joke that you told?
Oh man,
Matthew Jones. What was the joke?
Okay, so, and I'll tell you why I think it bombed the second time. So the joke was about interracial dating, and again, in Oakland, it did fine. I said, I had said in the joke, and I stopped doing the joke because I found out a comic has something kind of close to it, and I was just like, well, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be associated to, like, I'm taking some joke. So the joke was about interracial dating, and I was like, I said, if you've never dated interracially, you should, because you will get that person's best. I said I went out with this Puerto Rican girl. She said she had never been with a white guy, so I said, now I feel like I have all of Ireland on my back that I have to represent for, you know. It's a lot of pressure. And all this, at this point, everybody's fine with the joke, you know. I said, I feel like all these white penises are looking up to mine, like, all right. I said, oh, no. I said, I go, to her vagina, basically, my penis is like the Jackie Robinson of cocks. So, you know, I said, I'm breaking down barriers. So I said, I feel like all these white penises are looking up to mine, like, come on, man, if you do good, we may all get in there, right? So all that's fine. Everybody's on board for this. Everybody's okay with it. Now, this next line I'm about to tell you is where everybody went, oh. I did the joke in the area, worked good. At the time that I am now featuring for Leslie Jones, the movie 42 had come out about Jackie Robinson.
Oh.
So, and this was kind of an older crowd, so I don't know if it was too delicate or what. But the next line I said after all this, I said I was worried there was going to be a sign above her vagina that said, "No whites allowed, go around back." And the whole audience just
God.
The whole audience just went, "Oh!" And but yeah,
no, that was an amazing joke. It's just like it was like just the right amount of like, like just like it told the line perfectly. Like at least for me.
Dude,
like oh man,
the week or two before when I was in England, did great. And then I don't know if it's because that movie came out or it was an older crowd. I don't know, but I mean, Leslie said. She was like, "Oh, that's a great joke, this and that." But I stopped doing it because Bill Burr has something. I mean, he doesn't go the same way, but he has something a little similar.
Kind of similar.
Yeah. So I just was like, "Well, fuck it." He's doing that joke. I'm sure he doesn't do it anymore. But I was just like, fuck it.
Dude, man. Oh man, that's the. Wow. Oh man. Oh, we're gonna get banned for that joke.
Yeah.
I'm playing, dude. All right, man. We're gonna go into this next segment. And this segment is called we talked about this segment. You was like, I don't know about this segment. This segment is called Nigga.
Yeah. I was like, I can't tell anybody I'm doing this segment.
No, man. See, I'm doing the segment. You're around the segment. You're not in the circle, but you're close to it. You see what I'm saying? We're gonna say that. All right. I want to talk about your time on Two Broke Girls.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
The story. Did you see the joke or the? Yeah. So. Okay, so okay, I have to kind of set it all up. So I think I'd been in LA maybe a few months, and my buddy Dave Neal, shout out to Dave Neal, comic, very good dude. We were at an open mic or something, and he was asking me, he's like, "Do you have an agent?" I was like, "No." He goes, "Dude, I'll have you meet with my agent." So I met with his agents. It was two guys, and lunch went fine or whatever, and they were like, "Okay, we want to represent you." So I was like, "Okay, cool." Dude, it was literally like the next day or the day after, they hit me up and they're like, "Hey, we're submitting you for a role on the TV show Two Broke Girls." So I was like, "Awesome." He goes, "Yeah, it's the role's a love interest." So and in my head also, I'm thinking like, is this how Hollywood works? Like you get an agent and the next day you're on a major TV show. But he's like, "Yeah, we're submitting you for a love interest." So I was like, "Cool." I go, "Okay, what time?" He goes, "Well, hold on, I gotta run a couple things by you. It's a kind of special situation." I go, "All right." JSC, dude, it's my buddy Chase.
Yeah.
Talking with you.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'm gonna roast him in a minute. You better stop playing.
Chase is a good buddy of mine from Boston comic, great comic. But anyway, so he's like, "You're playing a love interest." I go, "Okay." He goes, "Are you okay playing another, like a gay love interest? So you're a gay dude and you have a love interest." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." And so I was like, "Cool, let's do it. What's the info?" He goes, hold on. There's one more thing." I go, "All right, what?" He goes, "Are you okay with kissing a man on national TV?" And I was like, "Yeah, what?" Hold on. I'm like, hold on. And so I told the dude, I can't remember the agent guy's name because this was years ago, but I told him, I go, because I'm not an actor, so I don't know what speech is. I don't know how to act, or I've been taking acting classes. So I told him straight up, I go, is it where they're like a graphic one where they have the camera in there? And I go, "Dude, if my tongue touches another dude's tongue, I'll probably throw up in his mouth." I'm like, "Dude, I will fucking vomit on camera."
Oh my goodness.
And he's like, no. It's just, think of it like it would be like a peck or whatever. I'm like, "Okay, whatever." And so, and even then, I'm thinking, you audition for stuff all the time, and you just never hear anything back. You don't even get a no. You go in dude, you do an audition. I just did an audition like 3 days ago. Haven't heard anything. I'm sure you've already picked somebody else, but you never hear anything back. So, and you don't get 99% of them. So my thought was, I'll say yes. I'm saying yes to everything. I'll audition for this to let my agents know that, hey, I'm down for anything. I'm down to get a job. You know, I'll work hard for you. Thinking again, I'm not going to get it. You know, it's not even going to get to the point of me having to kiss this dude or whatever. So I tell the guys, like, yeah, submit me. Cool. The very next day, they were like, he's like, you've got it. I'm like, I didn't do an audition. I didn't read any lines. They just went off my picture and my size because the other dude is a really big dude. He's like 6'4". So
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he literally goes, you got it. They want you on set right now. And I was like, what? So I was like, okay, submit the info. And I remember driving there, and now I'm like, holy, you fucking get nervous now because I'm like, it's almost like you feel like what's that, imposter syndrome? I'm like, okay, I'm not an actor, so I don't know what I'm going to be doing. And then now I'm like, holy fuck, what's a TV kiss? What does that mean? Like, am I, you know, I don't know what that means. I have no idea. So I remember getting to the set, and you know, I meet the one lady, the casting director, and then she introduces me to the wardrobe lady, and the wardrobe lady, she's like, what size shirt are you? Now, like, I had never been on set or anything. So when somebody's like, what size shirt are you? I'm a big dude, and like my shirt size goes all over the place. I have shirts that are 2XL tall that fit me, and then I have some shirts that are 6X. Like, this is 4X. It's all over the place. So I start telling her that. I was like, well, you know, some shirts are 2X tall and some are up to blah. And she's just sitting there looking at me like so pissed. And I finally get done. She goes, really, dude? Just give me a number. And I was like, Jesus Christ. I go, all right, just get a 5X. I'm sure that'll be safe, right? So later on we talked, and she realized that this is my first time ever being on set, and like everything's going so fast, and she needed the shit fast. So she, like, we joked about it later. So they go, then they're like, okay, this is Patrick, and this dude is 6'4". Dude, if you want to look him up, his real name is Patrick Cox, C-O-X. Not even joking. And he looks like a fucking, like a biker, like a psycho, right? So, you know, we're talking, and he's like, dude, I told him all I cared. This is what he's saying. He's like, all I told him is just don't make the dude bigger than me. Just don't have him be, and then here I walk in, and I'm fucking huge, and they're great. So, now we're going over, like, they're filming all the different stuff. All of a sudden, everybody comes over to, it's really interesting too, like kind of behind the scenes. I didn't know what was going on. Like, they were rehearsing different scenes at different places. And there was like a group of people that would be watching the scene. And as they would say the lines, this group of people would just start laughing like, ha ha ha. There's no audience at this point because they're not filming. We're just rehearsing. I literally thought, like, I'm like, oh, do they just hire people to laugh to kind of give them what the bite? And they go, oh, no, those are the writers. So what they're doing is they're laughing so that their jokes get into the script. And I was like, oh, yeah. So they're like, they want their shit on the show. So they're all like, ah, that's hilarious, you know? So as they're rehearsing scenes, as they're rehearsing different scenes, all of a sudden they start coming over to the scene that me and Patrick are going to film. And Patrick starts laughing. He goes, guys, our scene is like you got 3 more things to do. You guys really just want to see us kiss. So fucking Patrick tells me, he goes, yeah, sorry, I drank coffee earlier. And I just started laughing. And I'm like, okay, dude. I'm like, I'm not, you know, we're not, this isn't like a first date, you know, you're right. And so we went over the line, and we didn't really actually, I don't think we did in the rehearsal. I don't think we actually did the smooch. Oh, God. So we've done the rehearsal. Everything's all set. And so now it's the day to film. And by the way, if you need me to shut up or like you got to go, let me know.
Go. You gotta be fast. Just go.
Okay. So the day we're going to film, my buddy Phil comes to the filming because he wants to watch it. He's fucking dying laughing. So the guy directing it, Peter David King or something like that, he wrote or directed Sex in the City, and he was like a co-writer on this, and he happens to be a gay dude, right? So as we're doing the scene, I'm like, the Patrick and the one girl from Two Bro Girls, they're having dialogue, and I kind of just, the scene starts where we're just basically, it's not a kiss, it's like, the scene starts where it's like she's walking in on us already kissing. That's how the scene starts. So where they're like, okay, action, we start where our faces are basically just mashed together. So it's two fucking it's just like this. And then she walks in and we stop, and then they start talking. So as they're talking, I'm just like watching them talk. I don't really have any lines. And then eventually the director gives me a line where I say to her, I go, "It's nice to meet you." And then I look at him, I go, "It's really nice to meet you." And then I fucking give him another peck, and then I leave. But here's the funniest part to me. So I say this in the joke, but it's actually true. In my head, I was like, again, I'm like, okay, so how do I act for this scene? So I'm like, okay, dude, I guess. And this was like my boyfriend. I'd be affectionate to him. So I started like rubbing his fucking nipple and shit like this. At one point, the director, who's gay, says to me, sits over the whole audience, so the audience, everybody starts laughing. He goes, "Jay, you don't have to fondle him or anything." So I'm like, oh my God. And so, yeah, so we filmed the whole thing, and I was like, in my head, I was like, do I tell people that I'm going to be on this show? Like, is this something I'm going to be like, hey, actually on the show, I fucking make it do. So this is how it is. So the big punchline or reveal it got cut. And the way I feel out is my buddy Josh, who's an actor and does a lot of acting. I was talking to him. He goes, "You know, you get paid again when it airs." I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, you get paid when you film it, and then when it airs, you're gonna get paid again." I was like, "No way!" So I called my agent. I go, "Hey, my buddy was saying I get paid again when it airs." He goes, "Oh yeah, that's true, but I was gonna call you. The episode ran long. They cut your scene." I just started laughing, and I'm sure he's used to working with just strictly actors, because he's like, "You're not upset?" I go, "No, it gives that story," because I was telling that story on stage. I go, "Just a story of better ending." Then I went through all that shit, and then they just fucking cut the scene.
Bro, like that just hurts, bro. Like, you gotta think about that. Like, you actually went through with it, and then it's still like, oh man. Yeah. And like it just speaks to your tenacity and how you can just keep going, bro. Like that's like above and beyond, man.
Well, now I turned it into a joke. You know, it's like a 7 to 10 minute bit. You know, that I'll do on stage. Yeah.
Oh man, because like I heard about it, but I really didn't like know the like full backstory. So like I just wanted to actually hear it on like actually talking to you. So that was just awesome, man.
I know it's on my IG somewhere in my feed. I tell the whole joke on stage. So.
Oh man, I'm definitely going to watch it, man. Well, all right, we got to get into this last segment because I got to go ahead and get back kind of quick. This last segment is called Testimony Time, and it's a time where we thank God for just bringing us through a situation where we thought was immeasurable, and I feel like it's always a great way to end the show. So, do you have a story or something that you could tell us?
Oh man, I mean, I don't know if this is how you mean it or what, but I mean, I don't know. You know, if you know, my mom passed away. I don't know, about 4 or 5 months ago now, and I documented the whole thing. Kind of have it as a record, but through the whole, I mean, I guess my testimony is going to be how related to God and comedy, and just how comedy gets you through it. So as I was doing this, I mean, I would post videos where I'm in tears, you know, and my mom just passed away or whatever. But I kept saying in that thing, I was like, look, at some point, I'm going to be making jokes about this. There's going to be jokes. And then I think 2 or 3 days after my mom passed, I did a video of just all jokes about because the whole thing is just, it's such a weird thing, and you have to find the humor in it. So I posted it, and the funniest thing was people were like, I'm laughing at this, and I feel like I shouldn't be laughing at this. But I'm like, no, man, dude, comedy is how, as comics, how we get through. And it's, it's, you know, I mean, that's I want to do a special, like a 30-minute special, just about my mom's passing and the whole. Because, dude, if you ever been through it, there's just so much shit that's ridiculous with it. And I want to call it like my mom went to heaven and all I got were these jokes or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I don't know if that's what you're looking for. Thank you, Tyler.
Nah,
Appreciate
man, that's perfect.
it. Yeah,
Like,
that's it.
Honestly, that was perfect, man. And like that's just like that's something that like all artists have. Like whether you paint, whether you do comedy, whether you sing, rap, whatever. Like that's kind of thing that God gives us to kind of deal with and cope with like heavy situations, and to see that God gave you comedy and you were able to use it to really get through that. And I don't know if I know you're not probably fully through it yet, but to know that like you're getting through it using something that God gave you is a testimony in itself.
For sure.
So man, shoot, I thank you for that. I thank you for that, man. All right, but we got to go and end the show because I got to get back to work. Before you go, drop all your social media. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Big Irish J. J-A-Y is, the J is spelled out, J-A-Y. BigIrishJ.com, at Big Irish J on everything. That's how you'll find me.
Alrighty, man. That was another episode of Talking Shit About Shit, man. And we are out. Oh, man, Big Irish J, I thank you so much for coming on, man. But I got to go and get back to work.
Make them sales. Always be close.
Right? I got you.
All right, man. All right, bye.